All right, guys, real quick today, I'm just going to throw a video up of me doing the Lego brick. Okay, we went through in class the other day all the dimensions, and I went through the calculations of how you do the rectangular pattern and things of that nature. Um, I'm just going to have my video up. It's going to be fast, and where you can, as an example of how I go through the process. All right, so my screen should be shared right now. And the Lego brick dimension is 31.8 millimeters by 15.8. So let's sketch that out. Create a sketch, top bottom plane. Rectangle 2 point, there we go, right there. 15.8, tab 31.8. It's very important that you key in your dimensions so that they are locked. All right. Now we're going to hit the E key and I'm going to extrude my rectangle by 9.6 millimeters. And I have my block. Now, the next step I'm going to do is to add my top connectors. So I'm going to create a sketch, top of the brick, zoom in. I'm going to create a center diameter circle. We'll go right down in here, 5 millimeters. Once again, key it in. You want it locked. And there's my circle. I'm going to position that circle 3.9 millimeters from the top and left edges. Notice I am going much quicker and I'm not explaining each click or path that. All right, so it's now been positioned. All right, let's go ahead and add the rectangular pattern. We'll do it differently in future versions, but for right now, what we're doing, this will be good. Rectangular pattern. All right, the object I'm going to pattern right here. There's my circle. All right, let's grab this blue arrow and let's move this way. I want 4 total. I want them to be 24 millimeters apart. No, sorry, negative 24. I went through the calculation of how we came up with 24 the other day. I'm going to grab this arrow and drag it down. I want 2 rows. I want them 8 millimeters apart. All right, click OK. I'm going to finish sketch. Go to the home position. I'm going to select my circles and do an extrude. There's my E key. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to catch up. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.7 millimeters. I'm going to add a fillet each corner. So let's go ahead and hit fillet tool. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be 0.2 millimeters. Okay. All right, now the next step is I need to shell out the bottom. So let's flip it. Go to the shell under modify there. And the wall thickness is 1.49 millimeters. Click OK. All right, now we're into the bottom view. These circles here represent my top connector. The center point of that circle, which it'll snap to if you're using a tool, is the center point of that top connector. Our bottom connector needs to be perfectly centered within the square. All right, I'm going to create a sketch, bottom face of the, I'm creating the bottom connectors here. So I'm on the bottom face is my plane. First thing I'm going to do is turn on construction because our first connector has to be centered right in the middle of this square. Okay, I'm going to draw a construction line, a diagonal construction line from the center point here to the center point there. Okay, now escape out of line, there's my line. If I drew a diagonal from here and here, where they intersect would be the center point. Okay, but I really don't need that because I have this tool that if I go along, it gives me the center point, okay? So I don't need to draw the other construction line. But I don't want that yet. I want to draw a construction circle, one of my top connectors. This is not a 5 millimeter diameter circle. So I'm going to click on the center point, drag it out, 5 millimeters, enter. There is a construction line which represents the full diameter of one of my top connectors. I'm going to turn off construction and I'm going to create a center diameter circle. There we go. Machine's running a little slow, got too many things open. There's my center point, click, draw it out, let it snap tangent. See the tangent constraint? Click. That is my bottom connector circle. I'm going to offset it by 1 millimeter. So I'm going to select circle and offset it by -1. And there it is. All right. Now this time I'm going to extrude it first. So I'm going to hit E. There we go. Select my circle. Now, the height is not 9.6 millimeters because that doesn't account for the wall or the shelled out feature, which means this top surface is 1.49 millimeters. So I need to extrude it 9.6 millimeters minus, notice I'm just typing it right into the dimension box, minus 1.49 millimeters. I can hit enter. And if I go home and rotate it up, it's the perfect height. Now, go back to the bottom. I need 3 of them, right? So I want to extrude this. Doesn't look good. We're going to extrude this twice. 8 millimeters to the next one, center point to center point, 8 millimeters to the one after that. So our distance is going to be 16 millimeters. So I'm going to not extrude, I'm going to create a rectangular pattern, but I'm not doing it in the sketch mode. I'm going to do a pattern and rectangular pattern in my design mode. I'm not doing a face. I'm going to change it and I'm going to do a feature. All right, remember, we've gone through the terminology here. This is a feature down here in the timeline, okay? So the feature that I want to pattern, I'm going to select it here in the timeline. That's my extrude. There it is, it's selected. I just clicked on it in the timeline. My quantity is going to be 3, and my distance is going to be 16 millimeters. All right. Oh, and I need my direction line. An added step when you're doing a design mode pattern. So I'm going to select this edge right here as my direction line that is going to follow. Click on that edge. And it's projected out. And now I'll click OK. Go to the home button. Guess what? I'm done. All right. I hope that helps you guys.